SPE Thailand E&P Awards 2013 Finalist Projects. The nominees are Project 1 Condensate Optimization Lean Sigma Project at Pai Lin, Gulf of Thailand from Chevron Thailand Exploration and Production Limited. The Condensate Optimization Project is one of the Lean Sigma projects at Pai Lin asset. The goal of this project is to increase sales condensate gas ratio or CGR and eventually to maximize condensate production for the gas development asset. This is the first time that Lean Sigma has been applied to condensate optimization at Chevron Thailand. The concept of optimization is to maximize condensate production from the wells that has higher CGR if having extra gas capacity, supply is greater than demand. Based on the value stream mapping exercise or Lean Sigma tool, the project team had discussed and found that PACPP has CGR range higher than NPCPP due to CO2 removal process. Also, with the challenge of well test reliability associated with a large number of active wells to take care daily, the new process has been developed with a paradigm change from the micro-scale optimization at well level to the macro-scale optimization at central processing platform level, including platforms and wells. To simplify the optimization process and to improve its application and reliability, a simplified and doable standard operations procedure has been developed to assist offshore personnel in managing the optimization process. And here are 10 tenets of operations which are concise and practical for field personnel to follow. The most interesting thing is to see the outcome the 10 simple and doable SOPs could deliver. Simply said, this had added 5 to 10% to Pai Lin daily condensate production, generated a significant financial gain to the asset at no extra cost. This has also improved optimization knowledge and enhanced teamwork and collaboration. These benefits are on the continuous basis and expected to significantly maximize the value of Pai Lin gas development. To visualize a concept of maximizing production of high-impact and high-value wells into today's simple and controllable standard operations practice is the way to add a significant value to the Pai Lin asset. This requires the vigilance and collaboration of everyone in focusing on all areas of macro scale to micro scale, to look for opportunities to improve what gets done and how it gets done. This Lean Sigma project of condensate optimization is just the first step of our continuous optimization effort and will definitely benefit the Kingdom of Thailand many years to come. Project 2 Extending Field Life in Brownfields through EOR from PTT Exploration and Production Public Company Limited. Thailand's largest onshore oil field to date has been produced for over 30 years with natural depletion, followed by the successful implementation of waterflood. At this stage, the suitable recovery method beyond waterflood is being investigated. Though the benefit of WAG scheme is proven worldwide and the concept is possible to the oil field, the team performed a detailed screening and dynamic reservoir simulation study to provide a basis for WAG injection scheme prior to field pilot implementation. Comprehensive workflow was designed for 3 stages. Stage 1 Screening Study, Stage 2 Detail Study, and Stage 3 Full Pilot Implementation. The screening study started with a go, no-go screening process, which indicated enriched WAG process as being technically feasible for many reservoirs in this field. The most favorable candidate was selected after screening study to proceed with reservoir simulation study. Prior to full field reservoir modeling, PVT properties were matched with actual laboratory data and MMP was investigated via mathematical model and numerical computation. The achievement of miscibility is expected with the utilization of LPG-enriched gas. As this oil field's geology is well known as highly complex reservoirs with sand layers intercalated by shale barriers, this could affect the behavior of the fluid flow in the model if they were not captured accurately. WAG injection scenarios were optimized. The incremental recovery factor over optimized water flood can be up to 12% for miscible flooding and 7% for immiscible flooding. Sweep efficiency was significantly improved by the improvement of microscopic displacement from the injection of gas phase. Ultimate recovery factor is optimized when 30% LPG-enriched gas was injected. This encouraging result technically confirmed that EOR process is very attractive and potentially contribute to increased reserves in a matured field. Consequently, through this initiative and study, the concerted effort to further the implementation of EOR in the country will support elevated energy demand for our future generation. Project 3. Innovated workflows and software for pore pressure prediction in multiple overpressure mechanism, Bongkot Field, the Gulf of Thailand. From PTT Exploration and Production Public Company Limited. High overpressures in the Cenozoic Pattani and North Malay basins have been extensively encountered during drilling and development. The overpressure generation is mostly a combination of disequilibrium compaction and fluid expansion. The simple method of using pore pressure profiles from nearby wells as analogues for a planned well is highly unreliable, especially when planning exploration wells in areas of sparse well control. In addition, most standard velocity-based workflows are unreliable in the presence of the fluid expansion mechanism. PTTEP developed a modified Eaton workflow to overcome pressure prediction challenges caused by complex overpressure mechanisms. The workflow predicts overpressure caused by individual mechanisms separately, instead of attempting to predict total overpressure purely from velocity attributes. This technique has not been suggested before and can therefore not be found in any commercial software. PTTEP implemented this methodology by developing internal software toolkits using the MATLAB platform. The method has been tested at 25 well locations in the Bongkot field. The results prove that this method more than halves the uncertainty in pore pressure prediction from 10% to 4%. Based on past experience, this technique reduces non-productive time from mud losses and kicks up to 160 hours, increases the ability to reach planned TD, and adding original gas in place in the range of 5 to 11 BCF. Ultimately, our proposed methodology promotes the health, safety and environment, together with the reputation of the E&P industry. Project 4. A novel methodology with empirical correlations to maximize ATIT gas condensate reserves. From PTT Exploration and Production Public Company Limited. ATIT field consists of gas condensate reserves ranging from less than 10 to more than 90% more CO2 content. And the gas reservoirs are distributed across a range of formation units and geological trends. To maximize ATIT field live reserves, we have to optimize the feed gas CO2 content, as well as determining the subsurface reservoir CO2 cutoff. A novel methodology based on simple plots to integrate subsurface, surface inputs and empirical correlations are applied to maximize ATIT reserves. The reserves or well capacity versus CO2 distribution plot will provide an overview, while the cumulative feed and sale gas versus cumulative CO2 plot will provide the theoretical answers. The methodology will have a significant impact to the gas fields within the Gulf of Thailand with a wide range of CO2 content and can be easily used by the asset team, the corporate management and the authorities in managing the reserves. Project 5. The first PTTEP in situ gas flooding into a gas reservoir. From PTTEP Exploration and Production Public Company Limited. The in situ gas flooding into gas reservoir project was implemented in Greater Bongkot North, one of the largest gas fields in the Gulf of Thailand. In Bongkot, a significant quantity of gas has a high CO2 content of over 60%, and they cannot be produced under the current processing limit. In the area where we perform this operation, high CO2 gas comprises of almost 40% of the entire compartment's original gas in place. Normally, gas flooding is used in oil reservoir as EOR. Gas is injected in order to sweep residual oil towards the producer. However, in our innovation technique, we use unproducible high CO2 reservoirs to pressurize depleting gas reservoirs and enhance recovery. To validate our theory and predict the outcome of this operation, we generated a general simulation model, followed by a detailed 3D simulation model. The model predicts a gain of 11 BCF in cumulative gas production, which, when taking into account the increased CO2 content in the gas, results in a total gain of 5 BCF in pure hydrocarbon production. Our operation is very simple and can be generalized into 3 straightforward steps. 1. Isolating all the reservoirs between our CO2 source and our target reservoir. 2. Perforate the high CO2 source reservoirs. 3. Isolating all the zones, including surface access above the target reservoir. Once all the operations are completed, the high-pressured CO2 from these reservoirs will flow into the tubing and force to cross-flow into the target reservoir because the upper section is isolated by a plug. With the advent of this project, we've been able to efficiently make use of these previously worthless high CO2 gas with minimal investment costs to improve the recovery of depleting reservoirs and generate revenue. We also have plans to perform similar operations in high CGR reservoirs in order to decrease viscosity and to reduce any condensate banking effects. Overall, we believe this completely revolutionizes the way high CO2 reservoirs are treated. They are finally being produced while simultaneously increasing the recovery of other reservoirs. This operation may well become a new standard procedure before abandoning wells in Bongkot. Project 6. Understanding and mitigating water coning in the Jasmine field, Gulf of Thailand, from Mubadala Petroleum. Water coning problems have been recognized and documented in the literature for several decades. The Jasmine field is clearly not immune to these problems. The objectives of this study were to confirm the existence of a water coning problem in the Jasmine field and to propose solutions. This study confirmed the existence of a field-wide water coning problem. In early 2012, the water cut of A15 well dropped significantly after a short shut-in period, yielding an oil rate and reserve gain. Current recovery for the 400 sand from the existing wells, the A05 and A15, is very low for such a sand, with a large initial oil in place and strong aquifer support. In 2013, these 2 existing wells were producing oil with very high water cuts. 2 new infill wells drilled in 2013, the A25 and A26, were drilled down flank in the same reservoir and both showed full columns of oil, thus proving unswept oil exists in the reservoir. The first proposed solution to the water coning problem is phased production periods. During the primary production period, the well should be produced at a lower rate. As the oil rate falls, the total liquid rate is increased to ensure production remains above the economic limit. The primary production period ends when the liquid rate is at the maximum electric submersible pump rate and the oil rate is below the economic limit. The well is then shut in to allow the cone to subside. The well is then returned to production and the above cycle repeated several times prior to abandonment. The second proposed solution is an application of multi-zone completion, or MZC. The MZC is an innovative technique to manage the coning problem, as it provides an easier method to implement a cyclic production strategy with significantly lower zone changing costs. In a 3-zone MZC completion, one zone is producing while the other 2 are shut in. The shut-in zones may have been produced earlier and are now allowing their cones to subside. Impact and values. This coning study has led to the identification of significant bypassed oil in the Jasmine field and additional reserves. With better reservoir management, the recovery factor is optimized and the economic value is maximized. In summary, this study yields significant impact on the financial performance of the Jasmine field, resulting from applied understanding of the theoretical aspects of water coning. This breakthrough is important to deliver value to Mubadala Petroleum and the Thai economy.